Well, 100 years ago, the Ottoman Empire instituted measures that would lead to the deaths of 1.5 million ethnic Armenians, fleeing what later came to be recognised by many nations as a genocide. Vast numbers of refugees came to France seeking safety. Our team went to Marseille, the main site of arrivals for Armenians fleeing their homeland, to discover just how they came to France and how, for many, it became their new home. Today's Focus Report with Luke Schregel.
From the Ottoman Empire to Marseille in southern France, 100 years of history that began with the arrival of tens of thousands of Armenians fleeing a genocide. Patrick Malakian's remembering his father Ashod, better known under his French name as filmmaker Henri Verneuil.
My father wasn't always recognized by his peers, but he was finally by the French state, his new homeland. That was hugely important for him, a great honor, receiving such distinctions.
In 1991, Verneuil finally turned to his own past for inspiration, releasing the biographical movie Myrig.
They left with nothing, just a few gold coins that my grandmother sewed up behind the buttons of her dress. That let them get out of the camps as quickly as possible by renting an attic room. The
Armenian community loved the film, though the story wasn't the same for most of the tens of thousands of refugees. Christian ARTIN spent years archiving their history, preserving their memory through sharing their stories.
So, tell me what we have.
That's my mother, my aunt, and that's Garbi's sister.
Refugees leaving their homeland became stateless. UN predecessor, the League of Nations, issued the Nansen travel document, but there weren't enough for everyone. That was when the French diplomatic service stepped in.
The use of consuls and French consular representatives in Turkey, Syria or Lebanon was specifically for people without Nansen documents, who then came under French protection.
Almost overwhelmed, the government ordered Siméon Flessière to reopen wartime-era military camps. However, the mayor of Marseille wouldn't be giving them a warm welcome.
Flessière judged them by their complexion because he wasn't ready to take the refugees in.
Despite the horror of genocide and squalid conditions in the camps, one thing sparked the birth of a tight-knit society, the Armenian Church. Given permission to build on private land, the refugees created their community's foundation.
My father had a lovely expression. You go to church when you're Armenian, whether you believe or not. The only bonus the faithful have is that they have God with them.
Here at Marseille's Prado Cathedral, Patrick Malakian's roots go deep. His grandfather helped build it, and his father sang in its choir. The church, though, was just one legacy of the camps. The Armenians used any way they could find to keep up their spirits. A group of refugees from the Odo camp created the Armenian General Union. For most immigrants, UGA was about an escape from the camps and a taste of normal life.
The people who came, their aim was to survive, but also to integrate socially in French society. In our club, it was done through sport.
It's the city's third largest club after the famed Olympique de Marseille and counts adult professionals right down to an under-11 squad.
I love Armenia, and I asked my mum to sign me up for the club. Football's my life.
A life that these days also includes education. The Franco-Armenian Hamaskayan schools existed since 1980. Its express objective is to teach new generations about their own past. For pupils here, it's an inspiring curriculum.
Coming to this school is a good opportunity for me because it's the only one that conveys Armenian culture, values, history and identity.
My grandfather fought for France, so it really underlines that we have a dual culture and identity. And we're proud of both.
Pride the rest of Marseille also feels for its ethnic Armenians, as City Mayor Jean-Claude Gaudin paid them tribute.
We will do our utmost for it to be a wonderful year of Armenia in France and in Marseille.
100 years after the beginning of the genocide, Christian Artins worked hard to mark the occasion.
For the centenary, we wanted to pay homage to those still living.
Well done.
To our grandparents.
For many here, time's done little to temper raw memories.
Seeing them up there, bold as brass, I'm blown away. Oh look, there's my grandfather.
It may have been a century, but few Armenian descendants consider their struggle over.
We have to fight so that Turkey recognizes the genocide, for France to condemn its denial.
That's precisely the point for many brought up in the shadow of the genocide, and those who'll never be able to forget what was taken from them.